Chat, here we go. We have another banger 1v1 show match. It's Nass versus Joreuz and a friendly M80 1v1. I think we have seen this before since they've been on M80. And since they have, Nass has become an unbeatable titan in 1v1. Joreuz, once upon a time, as he's going to take the first possession in for an air dribble dunk off the backboard, was also a 1v1 titan. Specifically, a clutch master when it came down to any sort of tournament. Joreuz was going to take the win. Nass has taken over the crown in terms of dominating the 1v1 scene. But does that mean he's going to be able to win this show match here on October 8th? You truly never know. Nass able to get his first on the board. Nass's last match, we talked about this a little bit before we started the match here, was against Moxie. It was actually to end Moxie's little streak he had going. He had played 3 or 4, maybe even 5, or maybe that was his 5th game against some really high-level opponents, including the likes of Joreuz in his 1 game back that he's played. But guy has streak denied by Nass. Moxie definitely playing at a high level. Joreuz reset dunk. He seems to be playing at a high level. Just 37 seconds into this game number 1. The thing about Joreuz is his range is a little bit wider than, some other 1v1ers in terms of what he can give you. Specifically, it seems impossible to ever pin down his ceiling. He has the ability to pop off and take down just about anybody. But I think his Champions Road 1v1 results are a good example of what you can get out of Joreuz. He did end up finishing 3rd, I think, behind Moxie and Nass, but he did drop down early in a match against Mozzarella, which Mozzarella is a very solid 1v1 player, don't get me wrong, but I don't think Mozzarella got close to, top 3 like Joreuz and where he ended up. So Joreuz can have that slip through. That was also not a best of 5 series against Mozzarella. I think it was a 2 or best of 3. Vacanus has infinite money glitch. Vacanus has infinite money glitch. There's the only way to explain it is somehow he has found the what was the Sims cheat code for getting infinite money? I know somebody in the chat knows what I'm talking about. Or not infinite money, but a ton of money. Either way, W Vacanus, wackiness indeed, as he will drop $100 as a prize for this show match. I gotta remember to tell them as soon as the next goal goes in, which will be now. Motherload, Rosebud. Rosebud exclamation point was the one I was thinking of. Motherload might have done it as well, but your timing arrows out, by the way. Go for it. Paradox, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. I believe that's 15 gifted subs just in this one stream. Or sorry, 25. No, 25 in this one stream. Nass, oh my goodness, hit with the no-look. He hit him with the no-look that he missed. He didn't get the follow-up. Oh no. Nass is trying to clip farm on his ex-teammate, and instead he's going to get scored on. Oh, what a save. A pull shot save from Nass. That should have just been a goal for Joreuz. Sorry, I wanted to thank all the subs, but some craziness was going on. $100 from Vacanus, 5 gifted from Paradox, and Nass failing on his clip farm, and is now only up 2. Joreuz is going to miss his hook shot wide, and now delaying his flip and ultimately just tapping the ball over to Nass, who is going to try and go for a straightforward counterattack flick into the bottom left corner. It did not succeed, and Joreuz will punish him for that. He says you need to be more crisp in your execution if you want to get away with it. Joreuz showing him how to do that as he puts up his 3rd goal. Rosebud gave 100 or gave 1,000 simoleons each. Motherload gave 50,000. Why did I not? I'm sure I used Rosebud to just essentially get infinite money, and you're telling me that I never thought of Motherload? Or is there a chance that I'm super boomery and I played an even older version that didn't have that yet? I mean, is that possible? Or do I just love spamming Rosebud exclamation point? Joreuz save on this flick to the backboard. Now possession of his own, and he lost control of the dribble. Just going to dunk it in. I think I could do that. I think I could do this shot that Joreuz just did. Who knew I was a high-level player? He just rolls it directly at Nass and just plays a bunch of mind games and ends up just being able to chip it in right over the top of the shadowing Nass. Directed Actal, they gave it a tier 1 for 8 months. Finally got it to work. Apple makes everything so hard. Oh, do not sub, at least for the first time, do not sub on mobile. Here is my advice to everybody. Mobile adds like an additional charge for either the Apple Store or Google Store or whatever, wherever you're using it. And then I think that stays recurring, and you just continue to pay basically the App Store owner for no reason. Now, if you're just trying to share your sub that you started recurring on your PC, that's a whole different story. Then you're just fine. Anyways, there's my public service announcement for anyone else who maybe have subbed to a streamer on mobile. Go ahead and cancel that sub and start it up again from a desktop to save a little bit. Joreuz in a tie game right now with Nass as he wants to demo him, but instead just undercuts him. We'll set up to the midfield. Nass did not want Joreuz to close the distance on the ball, so he just booms it away. I think hoping to send it flying over the top of a Joreuz challenge, but the Joreuz challenge never came. Pogo shot from Nass. He loves to do it. And it does force Joreuz to make a save and jump into the net, which means he's going to be awkwardly positioned for the follow-up, but he does cover it. Keeping the 50 out and actually getting a long shot as well. Joreuz playing so well out of defense. An impressive save. This one, he does not fall inside the nets. He lands clean on the back wall, and that allows him to boom the rolling shot in for the game lead with 20 seconds left to go. Nass going to have possession here to end it, but a little bit deep into the corner, cutting off some of his angles to score. Trying to go for the bump. Joreuz makes the save and can carry this out to end the game probably, as Nass looks to play passively. Pops this ball high. Joreuz, one touch, has boost to get back to it, and decides not to fake it. Didn't risk it. Does just tap the ball towards Nass and allows it to hit the ground after going up the side wall. Joreuz going to take the game 1 lead against Nass. Game number 2. Somebody asked in chat if these guys are teaming up next season. I don't know if they are. I think they're both back in EU. I would expect both of them to play in EU. Only because Nass's situation when he originally played in North America felt like it was so temporary that I wouldn't necessarily expect him to be coming back. I got the impression that Nass had, right place, right time for it to make sense to play in NA alongside AJ and Joreuz, but I would expect him to play EU again. And this is knowing nothing about the details. This is just knowing what you guys know as well. No insider knowledge. Which means he could play with Joreuz, who I also expect. I think he already said he's going to be playing in EU again, right? Joreuz, right after the season ended, said he was headed back. Nass gonna win a kickoff to make it 2-1. No reason to play EU again except making less money and worse placements. It depends how much you enjoyed having to come over for a few months, during the season. Nice hook shot from Joreuz. Because if I remember correctly, when this team was formed and when they were going to play in North America originally, they were thinking that every other week they'd be able to go in and out of North America. Like Nass is going to come back and forth, I want to say, which meant, you wanted to be home a decent amount. But then when they revealed that, no matter how many points your team has, you're playing every single week from the beginning, they ended up changing the plans and keeping him there more permanently. But yeah, all of that just sounds very temporary to me. I guess I just don't know the exact details. That being said, there's no question that NA 3 and 4 are much easier to snag than EU 3 and 4. Talking about their seeds, that is. Nass up to ceiling heights. Even had a reset as Joreuz tried to float behind it and eventually get the save. Looks like he did get a touch maybe based on the sound, but not enough to stop the goal. Nass resets. And a flip to make it 4-2. Another kickoff win. Joreuz is going to have to be careful here as he is currently losing in part to those kickoffs. Joreuz is going to win this one to stop the bleeding here a little bit. Tried to become a brick wall behind the ball for a 50. Now forced to start an air dribble. Nass rotating back wide. Actually going to let Joreuz return all the way to the ground. Not something that defenders usually do. They try and stay close to make the attacker feel the pressure. Nass just ripped the ball to the backboard. Fortunately, he also was above the backboard or above the crossbar, so he could land and recover quickly. Otherwise, it'd be a direct pass for Joreuz. Joreuz is able to make this save and trying to put it off the backboard to counter. Nothing is going to come of it as Nass resets again. Joreuz fake challenge into a pre-jump. Nass bumped him, but not enough. Joreuz takes it to the back wall and doubles it. It's been Nass's possession for so long, though. Joreuz hasn't been able to get a really good chance. He did get this corner boost. It was a close call between the two of them. Now Joreuz the other way. Cash shots. Does get Nass to have to make a save on the goal line. And he tried to fight him off that corner boost, but it didn't work out the way he wanted. It's now Nass in control. Even with Joreuz clearing this one away, might have a tough time regaining control. Nass, long shot, and there it is. A hard-earned goal. These guys have been back and forth for minutes before Nass eventually gets the opportunity for a long shot out of his own half. And now a 3-goal lead for Nass. It's looking daunting. Not that there isn't enough time, but this is a guy who you expect to be able to keep his leads and secure his games the way he's been playing 1v1 recently. Joreuz, though, heavily wins this kickoff, and Nass was trying to go in and out way too slow. Joreuz, another kickoff win. That'll be essential to track. Nass double denied by Joreuz. We watched it from Nass POV. It didn't seem like it was going to be an easy one to read. You also need to go back and see it from Joreuz. Nass bailed off of this dribble, so Joreuz will go and take it away from him and dunk it. Nass giving him the nice one. Why did Nass flip away from this one? It had to be accidental, right? Certainly no reason to recover back to the wall. Joreuz just clean steals it and then dunks it to bring himself within one. Nass, a big kickoff win. Joreuz seemingly getting some momentum. How does Joreuz make that save? He's going to counter it as well. My goodness, Joreuz has had a couple nasty saves in this game. Unfortunately, the replay is not going to show us how he managed to get this one. I mean, we've been watching them from Nass POV, but they felt like guaranteed goals based on what he can see, and yet Joreuz finds a way to deny it. Nass has Joreuz in net. Normally a position I would favor Nass in, but Joreuz has somehow and some way kept every single shot out. He is just dancing behind the ball right now. I mean, certainly playing at a defense can't be the right play. It certainly doesn't get this one. Okay, finally. Finally, he doesn't make a save as he flips past the ball. Recovered pretty decently, but overshoots it. Nass goes to slow play. Had to drop the sorry. Now with 36 seconds left to go, Joreuz has fought the good fight, but it might not be enough. He does have a decent possession here, and Nass is not going to be able to close enough to steal this ball away. Joreuz backflipping off the ball. He wants to bait Nass into diving too deep, and he did exactly that! Joreuz! He is not floundering. I have a feeling he's doing this completely intentionally as a way to try and bait Nass in. He says, come a little bit farther, just a little bit more. Hey, cross that midfield line. You might be able to steal the ball. But no, you can't. Joreuz booming it over the top. Now tie game. It's going to be a Nass possession. Joreuz elects to leave and go to the back corner. The way he's been defending, it's hard to blame him. Somehow, he's kept Nass at bay. Joreuz taking this into his corner. Nass wants a demo. Doesn't get it. And at 0 seconds, Joreuz has a boost advantage. Nass looks to get on the ball right away, but a bump at the midfield. Joreuz can keep it up. And he is up 2-0 against Nass in a best of 5. Nass tried to slow down to make a play on the ball, and he just runs into the nose of Joreuz's car and gets bumped off. A 0-second goal for Joreuz, and Nass needs a reverse sweep to get the win. Everybody with a 2 next to their name is all chatting. I'm guessing that's because 2 is Joreuz. All the Joreuz predictors making sure to show off their 2 badge in chat. But hey, if you've got a 1 next to your name, you probably know what Nass is able to do and just how clutch he has been. Right now, he's going to have to prove it in 3 straight games. $100 on the line, courtesy of Vacanus. Nass putting Joreuz into the nets. But Joreuz has put some fear into Nass, I have a feeling. The way he's been defending, Nass is having to reach deep into his bag to find a way to get past him. Leaning back for the reset and then using that flip for a 50. The ball positioned better for Nass on the follow-up. What was that from Joreuz? I think it just has to be a misflip. Can't imagine that was intentional. Or a delayed flip. Try to go quickly. Finger slip. And flipped much later. Gonna get a kickoff goal right back. Which will help the mental, at least a little. Joreuz off the sidewall, leaning back into a reset, and then just lets Nass outplay himself. Once he sees the early challenge approaching from the ceiling, he is just hovering behind the ball, prepping for the 50 anyways. Because even if Nass makes a play, Joreuz did a good job rotating and probably would have been able to win that 50 towards net anyways. Instead, it's just a complete miss from Nass and a tie game. In game number 3, I was about to say game 5, but it's not game 5. Nass hasn't even been able to grab a game yet against Joreuz. Joreuz, interception at the midfield, and will turn it in for a goal. Nass not protecting the ball very well. Joreuz sees an angle to chip it out past him instead of playing it in for a 50. Joreuz reset dunk. Nass, a bit of solid defense of his own. And now into Old Reliable. But even Old Reliable is not going to work in this situation. Joreuz chasing down the ball. He does not want to let Nass feel like he can get anything going. Joreuz pinning this one top shelf, and even though Nass can get up to make the first save, he's not going to be able to follow it. Such a great shot. Joreuz, quick recovery. Now into a wall to air dribble. And the flip reset. cashes in for a goal. 5-2 from Joreuz with 3 minutes left to go. Nass looking at a 3-goal deficit. He's got tons of time, but under the context of how the series has been going and the fact that he has a reverse sweep ahead of him, it feels a bit different. Nass, boom to the back wall. Now from Joreuz's top left corner, he will get a smooth air dribble and place top shelf. Joreuz, no choice but to turn back on the ball with 0. Try and make something happen. Really just to buy himself a better position for defense. Not likely that he's going to score, but now he's got a bit of boost to work with. Nass actually faked that so much he almost overdid it. He was trying to pull Joreuz out of the net by faking the crossfield touch and then actually rolled past the ball instead of helping 50 it in. Fortunately, he's still around to bump Joreuz and make sure the slow roller still converts for a goal. Nass now off the side wall. First touch heavy out to the midfield. One that he cannot follow up. This is a bit of an awkward setup for Joreuz. In fact, he's just going to wait it out. Let it bounce off the ground. I'm surprised Nass let him get away with that. It can be so tough to control those. I feel like there's been a couple different times that Nass has said, no, it's fine. You can take it to the ground. I won't put too much pressure on you. Joreuz resetting his possession. Rolling into that corner, prepared to hookshot it into the wall at a moment's notice because he is staring at Nass to see if Nass is going to dive. If Nass is going to dive, he's going to put power on a hookshot to bounce it off the wall and get it out ahead of him. But Nass never did dive, so Joreuz rolled it into the corner and eventually ended up getting his possession taken away. Nass goes back to old reliable. This time it works to perfection. Nass going to let this one roll out midfield. Keeping that ball cam on for a bit so he can watch Joreuz. And that flick is going to be tough to beat if he can keep that going for the next 3 games. Solid shot. Placed perfectly. Scam Likely wants to call me once again. But historically, I like to ego Scam Likely. Nass, a fake flick into a low 50. Joreuz probably not going to be able to get away with doing too much reversing on defense. Joreuz air dribble starting from his own half. Nass predicts the use of the reset and is there to make the save. Wants to counter. Joreuz recovers in time. Clean catch. And they're going to trade back and forth. What a flick from Joreuz. Is that in? It's actually too much. He's staying aggressive, tapping the ball to the back wall, but he is going to have to back off. What a flick from Joreuz. That was going to be so nutty if he found a way to get it in. I can't believe he ended up finding too much power. When you do that flick pointed down, you know, usually you're going to push it too far down and make it easy to be saved, but instead there's actually too much height. A bonkers shot from Joreuz, but ends up getting scored on. And now down 3 with 20 seconds. Looking to try and fake Nass and or 50 him. Doesn't work, gets demoed. And Nass is on the board. It's not going to be a sweep. It was never going to be easy to beat Nass, period, but it was going to be near impossible to try and sweep him. Has Nass gotten his rhythm going? We'll find out in game number 4. Yeah, I'll try and see if I can save this. I'll save this as Joreuz flick. Game 4. Nass and Joreuz Joreuz trying to close out his former teammate. Somebody asked, will they be teaming again? I have no insider info. What I can tell you is that neither Nass or Joreuz's teams have been announced. Therefore, in theory, they could be playing with each other. Who is Joreuz's team for Flip and Spin? It's Joreuz, Oli, and is it Nass? Nass. It's not Nass, is it? Or is it? It is Nass. Oh, okay, that's worth mentioning. I wasn't sure if it was Nass. Yeah, Super Olay, which is a team that qualified for an upcoming tournament potential LAN, depending on how well you do, I believe, is actually Joreuz, Oli, and Nass. So I would expect Super Olay to do quite well. So maybe they are going to continue to play each other. Maybe that's, going to be their team, with Lawler as the coach. For some reason, I thought it was like a full Dutch team. And I don't know why I thought that, because Super Olay does not necessarily suggest that. Joreuz low 50. And oh my goodness, Nass actually had a decent recovery. Still not enough to stop it. Nass does speak Dutch. Wait, how many languages does Nass speak? I know he speaks English, Dutch, French, I would assume, right? Is that Morocco speaks French? I can never say anything like that with confidence because I'm such a American. We speak America here. Nass does not speak French. Oh, okay. I guess he lives in Belgium. Drowley speaks French because he's Canadian. Wait, chat. Doesn't Itachi also speak French? He's Moroccan. Somebody tell me I'm not stupid. That's actually, you know what? That's, don't even say anything about any of the languages. That's not what I need right now. I just need someone to say, hey, Feer, you're not stupid, man. No worries. Hey, man, you're not stupid. Thanks, Revis. Appreciate that. Nass. Nice carry out of the back corner. Ultimately, the finish is just wide. Bounce dribble now into a double jump bump. Joreuz gonna launch a flick immediately. Test Nass on the back wall. Nass passes the test, and Joreuz will just take the dribble off the bounce. He wants to go for a bump. Nass gets over the top of it, but the bump is not over. He's gonna come find him as he reaches the ground. And that's actually not the cleanest play ever. If Nass had a different spawn, maybe there's a world in which he gets stopped. But the thing about Joreuz is he forces him up into the air to get the save high. I think Nass maybe used up the last bit of his boost, and then he has to slowly fall to the ground. He even used both jumps. So Joreuz knows he's likely to have an easy target that can't do too much maneuvering to dodge the follow-up bump. He's able to secure that for the goal. Now, Nass with a takeaway and a tying 3-3. Joreuz going to re-extend the lead. He was having trouble with kickoffs earlier, but that has not been an issue anymore. And another kickoff win in his favor as Nass will back off to the back corner. Joreuz electing to just boom that ball. Maybe he didn't like where it was bouncing off the side wall. He's now forced back into his corner because of it. Nass Not really in a great position to protect the ball, despite being closer to it here. Joreuz feels good about his challenge, although now it's going to be a Nass possession out of the back corner. Dribble from ceiling height, has the reset, and does use it. Plays so well. I think the ball was on target even without the reset, which is an important part of the play. Joreuz, you can see him positioning on the back wall in such a position that Nass might go to the ground and, you know, play it off the ground or play a wave dash shot, and Joreuz wants to be ready for that, so he's a little bit lower. Nass instead, or, you know, the complete fake, which is why I meant if it's on target, that's important, because Nass can just leave it and it'll bounce in. And Joreuz is having to think about that, having to cover those options. That's what makes it possible for the reset shot to be, you know, as effective as it can be. Kickoff goal for Nass. Gonna make it 5-4. Joreuz. Soft flick, decides instead of going for the ball, he wants to first undercut Nass. And then we'll head back to the back line. Chipped onto the back wall by a bump, but dealt with the adversity well. Now 17 boosts on the goal line. Fake touch. Wants to get Nass into a bad 50. Decides he does not want to steal the back corner of Nass. Instead, will wait at the midfield. Nass, clean catch, flick, and a boost steal. I think that puts him in a good position here, although he just allowed Joreuz to reset on the midfield 100. 17 seconds left to go. Joreuz needs to steal this ball away from Nass. Nass might have just passed it for him. A flick around him. Nass did a lot of the hard work for him. Just takes this ball directly across the field and flubs the flick. I think he was trying to launch it to the other side to a position where Joreuz couldn't control it. But instead he flubs it, puts himself out of position, and hands the ball over. Just not the best play from Nass. He's going to try and clutch out here on 0 seconds. But Joreuz makes a save on the wave dash shot. Tried to put it on the ground. Nass will not let it hit the ground. He has a great boost advantage and a reset. As he falls to the ground, he'll use it, and he'll score on 0 seconds to force game 5. Nass might have flubbed it just moments ago, but he's going to clutch it here as he drops it. This is Rocket League. And he typed it himself. It's not a quick chat. He just typed "This is Rocket League." That's baller. As we are headed to game 5. Bro did indeed type. It is indeed Rocket League with the manual type. Game 5, Nass and Joreuz. Joreuz was off to a hot start against what is widely considered the best 1v1er in the game right now. Is there an argument for anybody else? I don't think there is, right? Nass dropping the woo because I'm hyping him up too much. And, you know, he is just going to give the ball away. Diaz, yeah. Okay, Diaz actually, there's a good argument for Diaz. I would agree with that. Unfortunately, it's one that can't really be solved. Nupo, I think, played Moxie recently and did not win. Joreuz with classic Joreuz antics on the kickoff. Just half-flipping into the net. And then I'm surprised he went for the reverse wave dash, but it's not going to work. Nass has the edge over Moxie in their recent matches. So, you know, Nass cancels out Moxie. You basically can't say Moxie, I would say, because Nass exists. Nupo lost to Moxie, but that's how much does transitive property, you know, count? I don't know. But Rawasa also lost to Moxie, but I guess that's also transitive property. So yeah, I guess Nass has to play a couple more people, but as far as active players, I mean, certainly you can't make the argument for anyone else. A couple of other the guys you'd argue for are currently on losing streaks of only 1, but still. Nass, goal line 50. And a 3-1 lead. You know, it might have been a different discussion, or it could still be a different discussion if Joreuz wins this game number 5. But Nass has locked in. Nice flick from Joreuz. It can be a rock, paper, scissors situation. You can't rule out Moxie. Yeah, I could see that argument. But I think based on the games we have played right now and who's active and whatnot, really, you're only arguing between Moxie and Nass. I think you gotta give it to Nass. You know, I know a lot of people want to say Rawas or Nupo, but those guys both haven't been playing and have lost their most recent matches, so... If you guys are allowed to say them, then I'm allowed to say Daniel. All right, fair? Can we all just cope that way? I love the USA spam. Nass. Goal line 50. Long possession. Converts for a goal. Yeah, I think Daniel finished on a win, right? Salt Mine is the last time he played. But that's been almost a full calendar year now since that happened. But he did the full Salt Mine, and then I think he played a crossover against Nass and won. And I think that was his last game. Nass off the back wall, gonna make it 5-2 after stealing this one away. Joreuz needs to be careful. Still a lot of time left in this game. And I think we saw Nass make a similar comeback in Game 4. Joreuz has maybe made more impressive comebacks than anybody else in 1v1. And this one would not even count it. He's fairly close. Joreuz save to the back wall. Cannot get out to the ball before Nass, and cannot get a demo either, so it's going to be another Nass possession. This time falling from the ceiling. Place it off the bounce. Great car control from Joreuz to intercept and catch. Wants to flick to punish. My goodness. Nass going to drop him the nice one. This is almost a bit of a risk, because if you don't launch as perfect of a flick as Joreuz does, then Nass is in a great position to save it up to the backboard and have it go soaring back the other way, ending Joreuz's play. And yet Joreuz had faith in his flick. He knew he could get it past him and get a goal. Did exactly that. Nass using that flip to push himself back to the side wall to recover quickly after his shot. Now Joreuz to the ground. Nass covers it. Joreuz was flipping away. I don't know if he was flipping away in celebration, but I almost feel like he was. I feel like he thought he had it, because I don't think his positioning makes sense based on where he flips to. Either he's expecting a much stronger save from Nass, but next thing you know, he's not around to be able to stop Nass's follow-up. I think he plays that differently if he knows Nass is making the save. Nass with a front flip to both pop the ball and land perfectly on the side wall to start his air dribble, and he overshoots this one and gets himself scored on. At least I assume. Okay, good. Joreuz will be taking the easiest goal of the series so far. Honestly, the debate of the best 1v1 player will be cleared next season when 1v1 is on the RLCS. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be great. And I think that's why we're going to have full participation, because of that exact reason. You know, the best 1v1 players from every region will be decided in those tournaments. And I think that the top players will not want to miss an opportunity to prove that they are the best, regardless of how much they end up putting in the prize money for those 1v1 tournaments. Nass to the ceiling, converting well off kickoffs. Talked about the kickoff trouble before. You actually see Joreuz spamming his camera. I think that's out of frustration of handing over another kickoff possession to Nass and digging his hole just a little bit deeper. A minute 42 and a essential kickoff win for Joreuz, I would say. Actually able to pin Nass into the post, which might be able to buy him the time to recover here. No, Nass pre-flips out ahead. I said essential kickoff win. I think it was, but he's not able to score off of it. Delay kickoff from Nass. Joreuz dunks it right over the top and cannot score. And is that going to be the frustration that ends it? He does try and zap dash recover. to make something out of it. But everything is just bouncing Nass's way at this point. And it seems like that'll happen sometimes with a player as good as Nass. They find a way to make everything seem to fall their way. Nass into the air. Joreuz, I think now is either tilted out of it or looking for an unorthodox solution to the problem. GG's, there it is. Thanks for playing. A good series, but the current 1v1 king does win it. Can we get a pogo out of Mr. Nass before he leaves? Celebratory pogo. High reset at ceiling height. Going pogo shot. Love it. GG's. Thanks to Nass. Thanks to Joreuz. 12-4 on the pogo. We do have admin this time around, so we will end it. The reverse sweep for the Moroccan. Nass takes it, and the $100 prize from Vacanus heads to him. 3 months ago, I get swept versus this kid. That was a great performance, Joreuz. That was a good series. All right. Here we go. My goodness. I think we need to get his camera reset here. The camera was weird. It's like close camera and it switched right as he flicked. Dude, this camera does not make it look... You see how his camera just, for some reason, right after he flicks it, is switching back? This is like bugged camera. Okay, here we go. Now this is actual Joreuz cam. My goodness. I'm gonna watch it from free cam. Just launched it. All on like his first touch too. Peak. All right, let's go. Your cam isn't even that close? Yeah, it's not as close as the bugged one. Yeah, Nass is getting scored on. If that's top right, I mean, he's on the side wall when it gets shot. Sheesh. I think there's one touch from Joreuz before he flicks it. One soft touch. Oh no, it's like all in one. That was pure. No, it does look like one touch right before. That's nasty though.